Welcome to a cold January day. So Jared's shop is called Money Pit Off-Road. So we're gonna head there tomorrow. We got an Airbnb, which is gonna be really nice. And we're taking the Tacoma on a trailer. Got all my camera gear for making some professional video, which is gonna be sick. And I got this new thing, which I'm kind of excited about. I'm excited to try this. This is gonna be what I'm gonna use for snow camping to both keep warm and cook my meals. It's a little rocket stove sent to me by a company called Forever Stoves. They're actually in Washington State, which is super cool, where I'm from. And so I really like the idea of this little stove being in the Tacoma, because all I need to find is some like sticks or whatever, anything you can shove in this thing, and boom, you have a cooking surface. This is actually like, you set a pan on this, like a cast iron pan. But then you also have the heat from it, which will be super cool. And that's gonna be what we use in the Tacoma when we take it camping. So, yeah, I mean, my understanding is that the heat creates a draft pulling this up, sucks air from in there, and it kind of creates this cycle. So I think I messed this part up. I put cardboard in that part, and it's just crawling up the cardboard. I don't think it's supposed to do that, so I'm just gonna... But we were gonna make like a kit that like fits this stove and some... Ooh, that shit, that's hot. Ow, shit, that's hot. Okay, don't touch that thing. That thing is hot. Don't touch it.
This is gonna really help. Mom thought this was a truck part.
She thought it was a truck part?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it, but it's rugged. I think it's sweet. I'm really into it right now, honestly.
You threw it so hard?
I have no idea.
Me either.
Come
on. You hit the windshield, bro.
Please don't say bruh. No squealing. Today's the day. We're gonna be headed to Money Pit 4x4 in Cashmere. We're gonna be getting the Tacoma dual lockered, air lockers front and rear, which is gonna basically transform this thing. I mean, it's already such a beast, but without lockers, it really still has some struggles. But once we're locked up, it's gonna be just unstoppable beast. It's gonna be awesome. We've stayed here at this little Airbnb in Leavenworth. Leavenworth is it's like a little barbarian German town in Washington State. It's kind of funny. And it's beautiful out here though. I mean, look at these mountains. Gorgeous morning. All right. And it's freezing cold. You might recognize this place. This is at the old headquarters of Nitro Gear. Jared, our buddy who has done the installs at Nitro Gear for years and years and years, and is probably like the best resource for gearing and air lockers and that type of work, re-gears in Washington State. He's still there, and he opened his own business called Money Pit 4x4, and so naturally I'm stuck. Sweet. I'm towing. It's solid ice, and I'm right at the top of this intersection, and I can't quite get the traction I need. Hey, I got it. I just had to kind of run at it. I couldn't get the truck to get into 4 low. It's one of those frustrating things. This is why on the Tacoma back there, I switched to a manual transfer case, because a lot of times when you need to get in 4 low, you're just not in a position where it's going to let you get in and out. Anyways, we're on our way. It's going to be good. It's going to be awesome to finally get this truck lockered front and rear. We got air lockers. I'm going to put an ARB air locker front and rear. We got an ARB compressor going in under the seat. It's just going to be super legit. And I mean, this is something I have like wished for and dreamt of having on this truck for a long time, and for some reason just never found myself pulling the trigger until now. So it's definitely going to be a worthwhile modification. No, the Tacoma's not starting. I don't know if it's just so cold or what, but it says smart entry and start system check. It decided to go, whatever this is, decided to go out.
Yeah.
The day we got here, you know.
It knows. Here, let's be a dick.
It knows.
Frankie. Hey, baby, come here. Hey, stay out of the way. Dukas. Well, silver lining, at least you're in the shop.
I know,
And
at
it
least
didn't happen out. Oh, it did happen out. Oh, really?
we had to push it in, which was a pain. But yeah, so there's a whole. Oh, that's weird. It's like intermittent. All right, well, we did in fact get the Tacoma started. Not sure what happened. I replaced all the fuses that we had this ADD thing plugged into just in case it was causing like a weird draw or something. And then I disconnected the starter relay and reconnected it, and it started right up. So I'm thinking that starter relay could be malfunctioning, or the other thing is that the cover was left off. And when I looked down in there this morning, there was a little bit of ice down in there, and the ice could have been shorting something out.
Hey. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, puppy teeth.
Air lockers. Got our twin onboard air compressor. Air compressor manifold kit. What do you think, Duke?
Pass the Duke test.
Think so.
Yeah.
He approved.
Yeah, I think
So Nate from Dirt Lifestyle, my buddy, handed over his axle to me from his Tacoma build before he put his Ford 9-inch rear on. It has 529 gears and an ARB air locker in it. We're just going to pull this part out, replace it, put my 529 gears with an E-locker back in this axle, and then I'm going to sell the whole axle as is. So.
you just run a valve, you run air to it, you hear it click,
Yep.
shut the valve off, and that's to check to see if you're holding air in the compressor or in the locker. And then you just give it a few spins so it's moving to make sure that the gauge stays, doesn't go down when you're moving it.
Okay.
Because I have had them where they'll do this just fine, but the minute you spin them, they lose all the air. So
really?
But this one's fine.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some of the products that we just unboxed that we're gonna be installing on the Tacoma today. So we got all of this here, and then of course the Dirt Lifestyle rear differential as well that's going on. Got our dual compressor from ARB, which is gonna be awesome. We have a little manifold to hook it up to the air lockers. This is a under the seat mount from a company called Desert Does It. Basically, it'll mount this compressor to the tray and then underneath the passenger seat. And it comes with some like air chucks that'll be sticking out the side here. So you can just plug in your air hose for when you're gonna air up. Then front locker from ARB and all of its accessories. And then this is a seat jackers kit from Desert Does It, which is required to be able to fit this underneath the seat. So it'll actually raise the passenger seat a little bit. So that's it. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's going to do a lot for us. It's gonna help us a ton when it comes to wheeling, and it's gonna take a little bit to get it installed. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Duke, are you ready? I don't know if Duke's ready.
Duke is ready.
Go sit. Frankie needs help. There you go. Good boy.
So it's cool that it's called Money Pit Off-Road.
Yeah.
Because the pits.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
It's play on words.
It
two
is.
ways.
That's funny.
Yeah, we all know what our off-road vehicles are.
Totally.
And axles out of the diff. And what you do here is you just, hopefully all you do is just pop this bottom bolt loose and it'll swing out far enough for the axles to come out, and then you don't, so that way you don't have to take the entire knuckle off, you can just swing them out. Just one bolt instead of having to take everything off. Swing that arm out and your axles out. You don't have to take all that apart.
Wow, that was tricky.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
Perfect example of why the right tools matter.
So how long have you been doing this?
13 years.
13 years, wow.
Yeah. This is actually kind of fun for me because I rarely get to break into stuff I've already built.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never see them again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's like, on the one hand, I guess I'm doing a good job because I never get them back. But on the other hand, I kind of want to see what it looks like after a few thousand miles, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I think, shoot, there's got to be 50,000 miles on this since you put it in.
Already too? Well, maybe not.
Well, just, no, not on.
But you do use it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the nice part. Oh, I didn't even need that. Okay. Oh, that came out even better than normal. That was good.
Looking at for 4 years.
Like you've used it.
Well, that's good.
No, it's not bad though. It's not bad. Here is the inside of your ARB air locker. You have a wave spring in here, and you have this side gear, right? Just like an open diff. But if you notice, obviously it's got these, the gears stick out farther than normal. And that's because when you activate the air locker, it pumps compressed air right into there, and there's a bonded seal that goes in here. Now this one's gone, but there's a bonded seal that pushes this collar like that. So it spins no problem, right? But when you add air to it, it comes in, it locks that side adjuster to the housing, locks all of the spider gears together, and you have 100% traction to both tires.
Wow.
That's all it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, that makes sense. I definitely had the mechanics wrong in my brain. I was like picturing some sort of like actuator pin that came out or something, which would inevitably snap off. But no, that's...
Yeah, it's just there's a seal that goes in there, and the air pushes on it, and it just pops that little collar out and locks that side gear to the housing. Then if you notice the lip, and then there's like 3 thousandths, so you have to get this thing going down just perfect, or else it sticks. It's like, you guys couldn't take another 3 thousandths off of this barrel right here. Was it really going to affect the strength that much? Come on, ARB. Well, you know what? I have a heat gun. Let's cook that thing.
Which they haven't had to do before.
Yeah. So we're gonna drill and tap for the bulkhead fitting to run the copper line through where the airline goes. And on the clamshells, it goes right here. Got the hole drilled, now we're just gonna tap it for the bulkhead fitting. The pipe fittings is they're tapered.
Oh yeah.
So if you go too far, you could actually like not actually thread all the way, so you gotta be careful.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, you get used to finding the spot on your tap as to how far down you're going. That's about where it is on that one. So.
Okay, perfect.
The nice part about this diff is I already set it up for you, so you can just put these back in and it'll set up just fine with the carrier that you're putting in.
Perfect.
Perfect. So next, you put the collar in. Sometimes they go in nice and easy like that. Sometimes you have to tap them in. Actually, hook the bulkhead fitting up now, just to make sure that before I press that bearing in, that I'm okay with my line.
So you're just seeing if it holds there?
Just seeing if it holds there. And it holds there. So, very good. So it's locked, right? So I'm moving the pinion, right?
Uh-huh.
And now it's open.
Oh wow, nice. Back in she goes.
Back in she goes. Yeah, I'm past that point where I used to just throw it in. Because I didn't even know how to do it, so I just use this.
Yeah.
Those are really fun to put on when they're all the way up and in.
Oh, I bet.
The vent tubes, yeah.
All right, guys, it's day 2. I'm here with Jared. We're gonna put the rear end in now, but it should be pretty simple because Nate had it all pre-built for us. So it'll take about an hour.
Yeah, give or take.
Drop this thing in, then we just gotta plumb it in. And so the front is in, the rear will be in soon, and then it's on to the little bit more tedious and technical stuff of running all the hoses and the wiring and all that. And so, but that's it for today so far. So
That's it.
let's do it.
Let's go. It's nice to see your trucks finally falling out.
I know, yeah, it's still dripping.
For starters, the e-lockers, they are a decent unit. This is an OEM one, and it's right up there with like aftermarket, you know, Eaton e-lockers. But the downside with e-lockers, as opposed to the air locker, is how tight the engagement is when they are engaged. When that collar hits on the air locker, those side gears don't move at all. Like maybe just a little fraction of movement. But with e-lockers, and I don't know why, if it's a design necessity in the design or what, but when they're engaged, even when they're locked, there's still a lot of play on the side gears. I don't know if you can see them moving in there.
Yeah.
This is locked in.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, so what happens is if you're in a real crappy spot and you're trying to get out, and you're like, you know, in and up and down, up and down, up and down, these side gears, you're just shock loading the crap out of them. And they have a high chance to fail because of that, the rocking motion or whatnot. With the ARB, you can do that, and they're not moving, so you're not loading them up as bad. Okay, so if you notice, the seal's kind of backed out a little bit, so we're gonna replace it before we put it in. And one of the biggest issues that I run across is somebody changing out their leaky pinion seal, but they have a crush sleeve and they over tighten the pinion nut and they add too much preload back to the pinion bearings. Used pinion bearings do not like to be over tightened, and what happens is they'll over tighten the pinion nut and the pinion bearings go out, and then they get to bring it to me and spend a ton of money to have it built or fixed. So I wanted to show you a little trick that I do. It's really simple, it's kind of stupid, but it works. when you're replacing the seal to make sure that you're not over tightening the pinion nut. So basically what you do is you tighten this nut back down and line up the stake mark. That way you know that you are where you were before taking it apart and you're not going past. But if you don't have a stake mark, all you do is you just take a Sharpie and you stick a line on the pinion and a line on the nut, and then take the nut off, take your seal off, and then run the nut back down and line that line up. Not as a salesperson, it's the best oil on the market. Not just for gear oil, but for engine oil, any oil that they have, they're top of the line. The reason being is they have an additive in their oil that actually plates on the metal. So I believe it's like 29 microns is the max it goes, so it's not like it's gumming up everything. So what that does is it protects the surfaces. It stays lubricated on startup, so you get less wear on initial startup, and it reduces the operating temperatures of your engine, your differentials quite significantly, sometimes up to 30% heat reduction. And as we all know, heat's the enemy of any moving component. So the cooler the temperatures, the longer it lasts, and that's why I get Schaefer's.
Moving on with that. Yeah, especially now because having the manual transfer case is like the computers just don't communicate anymore.
Oh yeah,
and that's the main reason.
Yeah.
Had to do
just
air lockers.
Keep it independent.
Yep, just keep everything manual.
All right. All done. That's the nice part about Toyotas, is because everything's located in the center section. All you have to do is just pull your axles out, pull the center section, and you can ship it to me. I can build it, and then you can put it back in. The front ends, same way. Some people are kind of afraid to pull the front ends, but they're really not that bad once you figure it out. So
I mean, that's a good option for people who are, I mean, I think it's worth a couple-hour drive, and it's awesome to stay in Leavenworth or Wenatchee or even in Cashmere right here to get the service done. I've done it 4 times now, but if you're just too far outside of that window, shipping your gears to Jared is a great option.
And another thing I can do as well is you can actually basically buy these units complete. I can ship them to you, and then you can ship me back your cores.
Oh yeah.
For a core charge too. So that way you don't have to have a couple of weeks of downtime while it gets up here, and then I build it, and then it has to ship back down to you. You can have it's just you get the new units, you swap them out and send me the old ones.
I'm gonna start the process of working to mount this dual air compressor to the Desert Does It under seat mount. We did make a mistake. I don't have the proper seat jackers, so I ordered those. We're not gonna be able to complete the install today. I'm gonna have to basically have everything set up. We're just gonna leave it on the floorboard, and then once the seat jackers come in, I'll just push this under the seat and it'll all be done. But that's just the way things go sometimes. So for starters, we need to reorient the outlet here. So I gotta take this cover off, and then basically that's just gonna keep everything low profile so that it can mount under the seat. I wanted this thing inside so that it lasts forever. And so under the seat, it goes. Oh, that's not bad.
No.
Oh goodness, that was impressive.
It's not bad.
That was impressive.
Old Indian trick.
Those things are heavy.
Yeah, I've learned that. Like, you actually grab them from here and you flip up.
Yeah.
Because then you can use your legs. And
Smart. Yeah. Well, it looks clean.
yeah.
All right, my friends. Well, we didn't quite finish the install, and it's to no fault of Jared's at all. Completely my fault. I mean, I got the wrong parts, so it's not quite done, but it's at a really good stopping point. And so I'm gonna go back to Leavenworth, spend some time with the family, take the truck back home and finish it up, because there's a bunch of other stuff that I got to do to it. But yeah, huge thanks to Jared at Money Pit 4x4. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Be sure to check him out. Same headquarters as Nitro Gear, so easy to find. Same guy, same excellent service. Definitely highly recommend checking them out, and it's worth the drive. So got everything loaded up fine. We got quite a bit more snow than when we arrived. So getting home, like getting back to the Airbnb will be one thing, but getting home will be a bit of an adventure. Tomorrow morning we're gonna give it a try, but I have every bit of faith in the Tundra. It's gonna do great. It'll be fine. Yeah. All right, man.
All right, bud.
I'll see you later.
Be safe.
Yeah, take care,
man.
Oh, plenty of traction.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Plenty of traction. We're good. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So far, towing in the snow hasn't been too bad. There's been a couple little spots where it was just really icy, and I had no momentum. If I can carry my momentum, I'm fine. But my fear of going over the pass tomorrow in the snow is that, you know, the Tacoma and the trailer are quite heavy. A little nervous about getting home, but we'll make it work. It's fine. Ice road truckers. That's a whole thing, you know. If they can do a show called Ice Road Truckers, I can get home. You know, I can make one trip in the ice. I'll be fine.